Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing with the Stencilgirl face stencils to make some, use our watercolours. So I am working in a watercolour journal with watercolour paper. I have done this on cardboard, it does work, but obviously it's going to work a little bit better on watercolour paper because it's just that little bit more absorbent and designed for watercolour. And just simply I'm going in with my watercolour brush. I'm placing some watercolour through the stencils. Now I have had some real successes with this and I have had some real failures. I've found when I work with my face stencils like this, it's worked really well because there's some smaller lines and you're not going to have as much water run through them. The great thing about this is that you can very easily go through and just with a wet brush reactivate some of the areas of watercolour so you can get these beautiful shadows on your page really easily. So the back page that I'm working on is dry. It's just with the wet watercolour that I'm putting through this page. And obviously with watercolours, the more you add, the thicker the paint is, you're going to get those deeper colours. So you can see here where I'm putting in a little bit of extra detail. This is all done in one colour, one shade, sort of a sepia brown watercolour. I then decided I want to put some texture into the body. So again, I've chosen a different stencil, another Stencilgirl stencil, and I'm just painting through on one side, and then with the paint that's left on the other side, I'm pressing it or doing a print of it on the other side. So you get these two different textures of paint. And I really loved how this sort of ended up and turned out. When I was finished, I decided I needed some splatter because I really love splatter to pop onto my journal. So this is such a quick and easy way to create figures for your page in your journals. I've chosen to do this as a full figure on my page and not do anything else to it, but I was very tempted to cut this out and put it onto another journal page. In the end, I've actually just left it in my journal as is. But it's certainly something that you could do a whole heap of these really quickly and have them to stick on as a focal image in another way, shape or form. So I'm going in again with a different colour. I'm going in with some blue this time. Did have some gesso at the bottom of my paint water. I really need to clean my water more, so I had to clean that off. So going in with some blues this time. Again, same technique. My watercolour is fairly watery and I'm just building up the colour. Where you've got this sort of side of the face, I am putting a little bit of colour as well. So you've got that obviously side image happening. And then again, just going in and drawing a really simple body shape. And then obviously filling in the top of the hair in whatever way you fancy. So when you do draw the top of a face in, if it's an open head like these stencils are, you do need to go up a little bit higher than you would expect to. So where the stencil finishes off isn't the top of the head, you do need to go up a little bit above that, sort of try and make a full oval shape out of in your mind, and see where that is for your hairline to sit. So once I'd finished this one, I again wanted to play with some stencils to put in some patterns. So I did exactly the same technique. You can see I'm getting quite a lot of water. I did want a different shade, so I'm putting in a little bit of black. So I've got a bit of a darker contrast, and then painting on. So for all of these, I'm obviously using watercolour to do this, but I have experimented with using distress ink to do this too. So stenciling distress ink onto my page and then either just spritzing it with water or activating the distress ink with a wet paintbrush, and you get a very similar effect. So if you don't have watercolours, you can get a similar effect by using your distress inks or any water soluble ink that you've got. It will probably be a little bit more precise than the watercolours here because they are a little bit more fluid, but it will certainly give you that lovely blended look that I'm doing at the moment with the wet paintbrush. So you can just sort of pull out the colours to wherever you want them to be to get that shaded effect on your page. Now if you want to take this further, obviously you can use this as a base and then go in with some colour pencils over the top to add some extra detail. Colour pencils go beautifully over watercolour and give you a really, really cool effect as well. I chose to just leave it as the watercolours on this one. I was really happy with how it turned up. So yeah, just play around. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It is just a play session, which is what this page was today. So when I'd finished, you can see that here is 2 more that I did as well. So lots of different effects, and I'll go through in a minute and show you those other pages close up too. One of the final things that I did do on all my images, I do this no matter what I've got, is with a paint pen I will go in and put in the whites of the eyes and the catch-all. So this sort of makes a real focus of the eyes and helps them stand out. You can also see on the lips I've added in a little bit of detail with a white pen. So just finishing off images with a little bit of white pen can help them look a little bit more finished in the end. This one I didn't do that, but I did put the eyes in, the little catch-all in both eyes. You can see the texture and detail and layering of the watercolour on top of each other. So for each of these images, apart from that first one you just saw where I did mix in a little bit of black, it is all one colour of watercolour added over the top, and just with how heavy or how creamy the inks were to what effect or what colour I got in the end. So I hope you have a go at playing with this. Again, it can be an individual page in your journal, it can be something you can cut out and put into as another page as a focal image. Lots and lots of fun. Check out the links below in the description box to see the stencils I've used, and until next time, bye for now.